What is up, everybody? Damn, y'all didn't waste any time tonight, did you? What's up, Bangcopter, Manic, R. Dominic, Satellite Sun, 2-Hit? Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing lovely. I'm doing great. Cheers to you, chat. Hope you're having a good one. I had a lovely day. Wasn't perfect. What's up, Toast? Good to see you. My poor youngest daughter is a bit sick right now, and I feel really bad about that. I think she's having a tough time getting to sleep right now, and I wish there was something more I could do for her, but unfortunately there isn't. Only got about 10 minutes. Oh, damn, Eva. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sure somebody can give you the Cliff's Notes later. And no prize for getting my survey right. I saw Manic said that I want to see auto try match survey responses to the people who think submitted them and see how many he gets right. Okay, I'm pretty sure anybody who submitted a game that they wish we had gotten to, I feel like I can get those pretty well. Just based on people's preferences, not so much, and you'll kind of see why when we get into it. But there's plenty to talk about tonight, believe me. What's up, Cragger? I see you there, sneaking in with your dragon coins. Yeah. It would have been a real challenge if it had just been like favorite and least favorite games. There were a couple outliers that I was like, yeah, I know who that is. But yeah, it's really when I ask an open-ended question like, which game do you wish we played? I mean, a lot of people went with something. They went with something that they submitted, they got vote on, that didn't make the cut. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. So. And then some of you got really cute with it, so. Full of pizza rolls and they make you sleepy. Ooh, nice. I am full of tasty, buttery chicken curry, and I'm very happy about that. So we opened a new bottle of wine tonight too. This is an Italian Bianco, which I know nothing about wines, chat. I'm a total slovenly pig, but you didn't need me to tell you that. So I looked it up and I learned tonight that Bianco is actually a mix, a 50-50 mix of Chardonnay and something, another kind of grape from Italy. So. That was the assumption. As soon as I fill in this field, is no longer anonymous. It doesn't need to be anonymous either. I don't value any particular viewer's feedback over another. You should know that by now. Enjoying a Guinness here, nice. I can't do really dark beers. I always tend towards lighter and sweeter stuff. So, which is kind of funny because when it comes to wines, I actually prefer reds. But I think whites are growing on me a lot more because that's what my wife prefers, especially sweet ones like Moscato and Riesling. So. I'm a total slovenly pig, oddish swinging white wine while the plebs toil in the fields. At least I own it, okay? At least I cop to it. It could be worse. Sweet wine sucks, maybe for you. I like it. I think one of my favorite wines ever was probably Barefoot Riesling. It was this absolutely perfect, like, it had these high sweet tones, but also this sort of like really, really fruity, complex flavor. It was really nice. Do you like a juicy wine? What's up, RV Winkle? It is indeed Friday, and thank God for that. I actually had a really good week of work. I was just ready for it to be over very much. Oh, dude, thank you so much for subscribing for 17 months. I really appreciate that. It's great. Big fan of dry Malsavia Bianca. Super floral, smells like lychee. Oh, that sounds good, honestly. I'm open to pretty much anything. There are precious few wines that I actually dislike. In fact, offhand, I can't think of any. I think probably of the kinds of wines I've had, the one that I'm the least interested in ever having again is probably Pinot Grigio. But outside, I would still drink it. I wouldn't turn it down, certainly. Just drinks to forget how amazing his life is. I wouldn't want to drink too deeply of the splendor, Manic. I might become accustomed to it. Should have a gin and tonic. I'll wait till the talking gets boring, though. Oh, it won't take long. Don't worry about that, Dom. You're chugging down scotch tonight? Oof, yikes. Hope it's good, though. Beer and whiskey are more the ones that you have any kind of refined taste with. Favorite cocktail is gin tonic. I'm a big gin and tonic guy, too. I would like... I keep kind of nudging my wife. I would like to start learning to mix cocktails at home. Because I've been watching... honestly, it's YouTube's fault. I've been watching so much How to Drink lately, and he makes it look so fun. That dude also has some really good suggestions for like starting a home bar and like where you can start with some very simple mixed drinks. And I already know I love cocktails. Like, I honestly like cocktails a lot more than I do wine. It's just, you know, if you're going out and paying for them, it's gonna break the bank. But if I can make them at home, that'd be pretty awesome, right? So, and now that we've had the experience of ordering wine online and having it sent to our house at a shocking discount, I've been kind of nudging my wife, like, hey, can you do this with other spirits? Is there a place you can do this with, like, gin or rum or something? Gin is just nice. I have this chamomile gin that is so good. This is the second stream I've come into and the conversation was alcohol. This might be a sign. I've just been, like, yesterday and today, I've brought wine to the stream because I've been in a celebratory mood and I've wanted, you know, I wanted to kick back a bit more than I have during Spooktober. So it's not going to be a regular thing because I'm getting older and infirm, and I think most nights if I have a bunch to drink during streams, I just won't get up for work at all. But I was so excited about the power hours last night I couldn't resist, and tomorrow is Saturday, so fuck it. Who cares? It may actually, yeah, it may just be, if anything, it might end up being, my chair keeps sinking, it's driving me nuts. It may just end up being a power hours thing. Because I'm in such a celebratory mood when it's the power hours. I can't stand it. Alcohol drags a cough syrup, light on fire, call it a flaming oddish. Regular Tanqueray or Hendrix are your favorite gins? That's good to know, Bacon Copter. I will file that away for the future. I made a weird drink that tastes good. Gin tonic, dry vermouth, lime juice, and orange bitters. Tastes really good. It'd be kind of interesting to reverse search that and see if that's an actual name drink from somewhere in the world. Had 2 Bombay Sapphire and this Guild Chamomile. Carefully rationing the chamomile though. It sounds really good, yeah. Stop being so happy, it makes the rest of us look bad. Don't worry. Once I break out the charts, all those smiles are gonna turn upside down, believe me. And I got charts aplenty, believe me. So, but I'm sure we got plenty of anecdotes and other things to distract us tonight too. So, I guess I might as well outline the basic plan for tonight. Not that, you know how plans go around here. I'm forever cursed to make plans. I love making plans, and then I almost inevitably break them. I almost always dumpster them in favor of something else. So y'all saw that with Spooktober. I ended up switching out 11 of the 26 days I had planned out. So the Watershed Distillery, Distillery in Ohio, nice. Basically just a martini and gin and tonic put together with different proportions in the citrus additions. That does sound really nice to hit. I love citrus. I love citrus so much. So the basic plan for tonight, I've actually got 3 things that I want to do. And I figure we can break them up across the separate hours. The first hour, I want to talk about Spooktober. I have all kinds of stats and metrics we can discuss. We can talk about what we did, what we liked, what we didn't like, what we learned from it, what we can do in the future, what we still need to do, learnings from this, and charts. Oh, chat, I know your toes are just curling in anticipation, but I have charts and graphs aplenty to just shotgun into your face. Everyone's favorite weekend topic, statistics. We're a rare breed here, man. I have metrics for Okay, we have such charts to show you. I don't do enough math and reports in my day job. I think we can go through this pretty quick, honestly. We don't really need to pour over the charts very much. The middle hour, the second hour, is probably the one that y'all are going to care about. That's when we're going to talk about the next games we're going to play. I need your help deciding on a vote. Not a game specifically, but a vote for what our next big game is going to be. And then, so that we actually have time to do the voting, I'm going to need some ideas for what we can do next week. So go ahead and start thinking about that. You got 3 days, next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, to fill with something entertaining. Vote for video games? Get the fuck out of here, RV Winkle. Where the hell do you think you are? British statistics also called imperial metrics. we want to linger on the charts. Hell yeah, Friday statistics party. Let's get freaky in here. You know it, Mike. They used to be when Charles got in. Event Horizon watch along. I would never live that down ever. Even though I know some of you would enjoy it. Some of you would not let me escape that. And then the third hour, the final hour, assuming that my plan doesn't go completely to shit and I don't ramble for the entire evening or pass out at my keyboard. I've still got this charming little fellow with me. And there's a couple games on here that we haven't seen. I actually haven't booted them up. That's how much of a stickler I am for this whole experiencing things with y'all. So we can do a final playdate update since season 1 is over. And on top of that, I have some other stuff we could play if time allowed. Some stuff that really wouldn't fit into any other night, though. Actually, never seen Event Horizon. I'm not super mourning that either. It's an experience. It's definitely an experience. Some people like it. Some people think it aged well. Watch a good movie instead, like Triple X. Good news, chat. If you can survive charts, you get to watch Orange Crank It. It's the perfect reward. That last Triple X. How many Triple X movies did they make anyway? Jesus. I only know 2. I know there was a Vin Diesel one, and then there was an Ice Cube one, right? Did they make more than that? Did they make 3? Did they make 4? Did they make 5? Did they make one with a dog? There's no rule that says a dog can't be a totally extreme spy. They did make a 3. Vin came back for 3? Wow, okay. It was good for the 30 seconds where Ice Cube shows up. Ain't that the way? Huh. You know what I want to watch? Chat, I feel like I need to reassure you, I haven't forgotten that I need to watch Knives Out. I know, that's on the list, it's gonna happen. What's up, Nemrin? Good to see you. Yeah, barbecue baked beans, lucky you. But something that keeps floating the top of my head that I want to see, just because it looks like it's really entertaining, is John Wick. I would really like to watch those movies sometime. I've watched some clips on YouTube, and they're hilariously dumb and funny. I haven't seen. Okay, look. Let's clear the air here. Let's establish some baselines. I have not been to a theater in like at least 4 years, and prior to that, really the only time I would go to the theater was when my company would take us every year to see the new Star Wars movie. I think the last movie I saw in theaters of my own volition might have been the first Star Trek reboot. Aside from that, and the Star Wars films, I don't think I've seen anything in a theater. And I don't have Netflix. We have Disney Plus, but we mainly use that for cartoons and Star Wars. And I did use that. Okay, I did use that for Marvel movies. I did watch all the Marvel movies up through Endgame a year or 2 ago. I can't remember when exactly that was. Oddish is Amish. Just because you have children, that's no excuse. It's honestly, it's a pretty good excuse. Favorite part of John Wick is when he said it's Wiccan time and then he John Wicked all over those guys. That actually sounds really accurate. Last movie you saw in theaters was Sonic 2. Waiting for Guffman. Christopher Guest movie, so I'm assuming is going to be great. It sucks that we only see movies in theater. There's actually no way to watch them at home. I do sometimes watch movies on streaming. I did see The Lighthouse. I did watch The Lighthouse on streaming a few months ago. What the hell is a Star Wars? It's nerd shit. Don't worry about it. It's that series that crossed over with Soul Calibur. Last movie I saw in a theater was It Part 2. I guess the thing is, like, when I was a kid, I was a pretty big movie goer. My parents would take us to the movies pretty regularly, although we would always go to either a matinee or like the $1.50 movie after something had been out for ages. My parents also had an extensive VHS collection, and then later DVD collection, so we watched a lot of stuff that way. I've also seen a lot of movies on airplane. So I've seen more than I let on, but that's only kind of half true because a lot of them just kind of disappear from my brain. Like I seriously have trouble remembering the movies I saw on the plane just like what, 3-4 months ago when I went to Japan. Watch Hereditary and Be a Fear. I've heard that's really, really good. We had a theater where it was 25 cents during the day during the summer. God damn, that's awesome. I wish I still did shit like that. You'd stay all day. Oh, I love Airplane. Airplane's a fantastic movie. I've seen a lot of older movies. I used to watch a lot more movies, either stuff that would come on TV or stuff that my parents wanted to see. So like 80s, 90s films, I'm pretty familiar with. Once you get to the 2000s, there was some selective viewing in college. And then when I was living in Japan, we watched a bunch of really weird shit. When I was living in Japan, that's when our movie nights got, you know, Event Horizon. That's when we got a little off kilter. And then when I first came back to the States, back in 2008, my wife and we did get Netflix and we did watch a fair number of movies. And then when our kids were born, that pretty much ended. No. But I think we might be getting back around to it. I mean, we got to finish watching One Piece first. So. I like the Star Wars where the board came back. I love the Star Wars where they go back in time to save the whales. God, y'all are just being assholes now. Had the Bakshi Lord of the Rings and some other movie showing at one point. I went for 3 days straight. God damn, that sounds awesome, Dom. That sounds really fun. Went through a Charlie Kaufman phase where I had to watch all of his movies. Playing the Namco Museum and got Sky Kid is Evil. Interesting, PM Collector Boy. I don't think I played that. I don't believe I have. Should talk about cringy-ass anime instead? I don't watch cringy-ass anime. I watch One Piece. I'm actually going to see the One Piece movie on Sunday. I am so excited about that. My kids are going to dress up in their Halloween costumes because they both dressed as Luffy for Halloween. I got my General Frankie t-shirt I'm going to wear. I keep trying to get my wife to borrow one of our shirts to wear, but I don't think that's going to fly. But we're super excited about seeing this movie. It's supposed to be really, really, really good. And bad news about One Piece, Oddish? Yeah, it's going to end someday, and we're all going to be really sad, and the world is going to be a slightly darker place for not having new One Piece chapters and episodes to look forward to. But you know what? We'll soldier on somehow. We'll have like 1,100 chapters at that point. Well, probably more like 12 or 1,300 to keep us going that we can just reread over and over and over again. One Piece is the name of the treasure. One Piece is cringy with how they stretch out each scene with added yelling and reaction parts. The manga is better. The manga is definitely better paced, but man, like we've been watching through Wano, and like they just, I don't know where they got the budget, but they let the animators go hog fucking wild, and it's amazing. It's some really incredible animation parts, but really overall, it's just really pretty. It's super colorful. It's got this really nice, like, bold line art style. They'll immediately launch the sequel, Two Piece. But yeah, if you're gonna do One Piece, you got, even in the manga, you've gotta be ready for some really messed up pacing, because that's just how it be. That's what happens when you have a series that's over 1,000 chapters long. So. There's a really stupid isekai this season called Eminence in Shadow. I mean, relative to other ones, because isekais are really pretty stupid as baseline, honestly. Do not look into Yu-Gi-Oh's racial undertones, although the creator died an IRL hero. I saw something. Oh, the American actor for Bleach, because they're doing a new Bleach movie or limited series, or I forget what it is, because I'm not really into Bleach. But I know it's coming back. And the American voice actor who dubbed one of the characters, who I guess is the character is a person of color, but they cast a white guy originally. He's stepped back from that. He's like, you know, times have changed. I recognize the times have changed. I'm not doing this anymore. And they did in fact cast a person of color to voice that character. And I thought that was really cool. I also know that guy. I know the original actor that they cast, Jameson Pierce. He's seriously one of my favorite people in the entire voice acting industry. He is like the nicest guy and super interesting and has an incredible voice. His voice is so good. Okay, thank you, Depressed Cat. Character's half Mexican, half Japanese. English voice was white, yeah. Yeah, Jameson Price is a class act on every level. I love that man. Y'all really took on that whole cringe anime topic, huh? I mean, Baconcopter, you put it out there. What'd you think was gonna happen? Did you think we were gonna see that as a warning or a challenge? The Bleach Coke thing was pretty funny. It was, yeah. It's like playing Monster Bass. Oh, we're gonna talk about Monster Bass. I have things to say about Monster Bass. Season I'm eating good. Mob Psycho 100 finishing off. My Hero Academia coming back. Spy X Family continue. I want to watch Spy Family. Some of my friends watch that and they say it's really good. It's just we gotta get caught up on One Piece first. We're getting there. We're within 100 episodes now. We got less than 100 episodes to go, and it's kind of a weird feeling to realize we're gonna be caught up on One Piece again, and there's not just gonna be like giant swaths of episodes to watch anymore. It's gonna be once a week, and we're gonna lose our fucking minds for sure. I threw out some bait that I knew would get bit. Okay, Puppet Master. Eminence in Shadow is basically about a Chini who gets isekai, and then has all his Shini's Shadow King BS realized by the world without realizing any of it. That's interesting. Kind of the isekai with the girl obsessed with recreating modern books in a pre-printed world society. Cute, dumb, and hyper-specifically informative. Interesting. You are, Eva, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you gotta leave us, but the VOD's gonna be here. There's not... Okay. There are a few takeaways from Spooktober, but not anything like seismic. I'm not making any big channel announcements or adjustments because of this. So you're not missing any world-shattering announcements or decisions or anything. So it was a good month. The TLDR version. It was a good month. It was a good thing we did. Ascendance of a Bookworm. That's a great name. I was on Crunchyroll. Nice. Well, you know, chat, maybe we should get into it. I mean, it's almost... We've been here for almost half an hour, and I haven't actually started on the thing that I was expecting to fill the first hour with. So I guess maybe we should... I don't know. You want to talk about the thing we're supposed to talk about? Y'all can keep talking about anime. That's cool. Why is it retro and not just chatting? Basically discoverability. Just chatting is like the largest and most crowded category on Twitch. And honestly, the fact that we are talking about video games would kind of put us at odds with most of just chatting. We actually have a lot more in common with stuff in the retro tag, even though we're not playing any games. So, and I'm way more comfortable with the retro tag than anything else. That's another thing we're gonna talk about, because I did stream some stuff in Spooktober that wasn't under the retro tag, and it was very visible what happened there. So we should be talking about 80s and 90s anime. How about that Ranma? Oh boy, Ranma. I couldn't do Ranma. I still strongly believe Kimagure Orange Road is so much better than Ranma 1/2. I think Meisani Koku is way better than Ranma 1/2. It's by the same author. I like Meisani Koku because it ends. I know I've said this before, but I'll say it until the day I die. I can't do Ranma 1/2 because it gets in its lane and then it just never fucking leaves. Meisani Koku, like, it establishes the premise and it starts screwing around with it, and right when it's on the very cusp of getting tedious and repetitive, it ends. And I love it because of that. Goku's the name of the treasure. So yeah, let's talk about Spooktober. Let's talk about what happened in Spooktober. Mei-san eats its Goku. Perfect. So we just did Spooktober. It was fun. It was something that we actually really haven't done before, which is an entire month of just one themed thing. I know that sounds weird, but I don't believe I've ever actually streamed one solid month of a particular thing. I always leave variety nights in, or retro nights, or stuff like that. So it was a bit of an experiment and a bit of a risk, and it ultimately paid off, I think, for reasons that I will extol. But we might as well start at the beginning. We might as well start with the basics. Let's go back to the original vote real quick. So we have a jumping off point for all the feedback and metrics that you are about to see. So these were the votes for the games that we did end up playing that we did vote on. There's a couple things that we played that are not on here. Faith, Dark Side of the Moon, Yomawari, Pony Island, and The Witch's House. We didn't vote on. Because frankly, none of those were exactly weird old games. They're like weird newer games. So this one, the fact that Clock Tower got the most votes in the initial roundup still surprises me. In fact, I think if anything, it surprises me even more than it originally did. After playing Eternal Darkness, I'm kind of shocked that that one didn't take it. More so than I was in the beginning. We did vote on Witch's House and Pony Island, just different vote. True. But I didn't want to integrate that because it was a very different kind of vote, a very different style of vote. Of course, we voted for Clock Tower. Chat just loves those floating Medusa heads. But I mean, like how many... I guess the interesting thing for me is, did people vote for Clock Tower because they knew what it was, or did they vote for it on name recognition? Like, oh, I've heard of Clock Tower, but I've never seen it, or I don't know much about it. Whereas I'm pretty sure all the votes for Eternal Darkness were people who knew what Eternal Darkness was and wanted to see me do that. Parasite Eve, I think, is kind of similar. People recognized the name and wanted to see it back, because it's certainly not coming back in any other capacity. Knew what it was, knew. What's up, Shadows? I voted for it largely because I'm familiar with it. Okay. Knew a little bit about it, wanted to see more. Okay. I forget if I voted for it. If I did, I wanted to see your experience. It's bullshit. Okay. So y'all were familiar with it. Okay, that's what I'm getting out of this. Okay. So yeah, I think that these top games were voted on because people knew what they were and they wanted me to dig into them, because I think I made it pretty clear that I hadn't played any of these up front, so. I had no idea what most of the nominated games were. I had to look up most of them, or voted because people in chat were promoting it. Yes, that is a very important point, and I'm glad you brought up Lojo High. When we are doing a vote for something, whether it be for community night or our next big game or anything, y'all really should talk up the games you're interested in seeing. That can get you a lot more mileage than just casting your vote and letting it pass. Okay? Like, we really do decide things as a community. We really do. There are often groundswells of support behind things just because somebody talks things up. This right here Monster Bass happened because I was so excited for it. And I feel like I should apologize for that, but I won't. But really, the reason we played Monster Bass is because I found it. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. Hey, everybody, look at this. We should play this. And people sadly voted for it. I think Mystery of the Druids is our highest voted regret. Oh, there's a chart later. I can't wait to show you. What's wrong with the 11 of you that voted for Mystery of the Druids? I mean, I only knew Mystery of the Druids by reputation before we went in. So I was definitely in the mind of, oh, this could be really entertainingly bad to play through and not just incredibly, incredibly bad. I think Clock Tower is the oldest or one of the oldest games in the vote. There were older ones. There were ones on there from like the late 80s. I know. There were some very, very old like PC adventures and stuff that people put up. That was, I think Peeps in Chat liked it. I'll boost it for them. Yeah. I knew how weird it was. I didn't know how buggy it was. That was the real killer though. I mean, we got soft locked in it after all. So. Did give us that amazing splash screen. It's true. Yeah. There was some stupid hidden object kind of adventure game. That would have been an improvement, honestly. Oh man, if they had made like a dumb hidden object game with that same plot and voice acting, oh, mwah, it would be beautiful. Get Artifacts Monday to publish it, so it's nice and polished. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I instructed the bot to repost the submission form if you have suggestions for weird old games. There's no limit on that. It doesn't cost you anything. Anytime you think of a game that you think we should play that roughly fits the weird old paradigm that we're in, just follow that link and toss it on there. I do review it pretty regularly. I've made some short lists of stuff off of there that I would like to play. So, Druids need a fishing minigame. It had fishing in it. It really didn't help. So yeah. So this was the original vote. I wanted to start from here so y'all remembered what it was that you, the viewing public, wanted to see. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is viewership. And I want to say up front, I think some people get a little weird about this, a little icked out when streamers talk about their viewership. Because I think some streamers do tend to obsess over it. I don't. I pay a lot of attention to it. I do try to learn from it, but I'm always going to be more focused on building and maintaining the community that we have rather than just making numbers get bigger. And I hope my actions in running this channel have proven as much, hopefully. But I do want to talk about the viewership because the real reason I'm doing this, the real reason I bore you all to death with stats and metrics and these little presentations, it's not for me. You know, I already have all the data. I've already combed over all the data. I've already taken the lessons that I can take from it. But the thing is, this channel is... Y'all are being real funny right now. This channel is what it is because of all of us, not just me. Like, we all have a part to play in the success of us coming here every night and gathering up a bunch of people and playing fun stuff and having a good time. You know, I do what I can to put my incredible skill that draws people in on display night after night. But y'all do your part in helping me pick the games that we do play. And participating in chat, voting on things, changing the lights, playing spoopy noises, all of that good stuff. So the real reason I'm doing this, the real reason that I'm shoving all these numbers into your faces is so that you might have a better idea of the data that I'm making these decisions on with Preposition. So you can see a little bit of the information that goes into the decision-making process here. And it may affect what you suggest that we play in the future. It may not. Again, viewership is not Twitch makes it the most important metric because that's what everything else keys off of, but it's not the most important metric for building a community. So it is one metric, but not the most important. Also, I'm not sure y'all are really prepared to see what was the most popular thing in terms of viewership this month, so I'll go ahead and show you. It was D! More people watched D than anything else in Spooktober. Chat. No surprise. Demand a more capricious and arbitrary overlord. Everybody wants a D. Still disappointed we're at the Don't Shit Your Pants speedrun channel Twitch needs. But will we be the Don't Shit Your Pants speedrun channel that Twitch deserves? Give us the D. D was half a stream in the first half of a stream, so that's actually... Okay, so small caveat here. There were a couple nights where we didn't just play one game, we played multiple games. And for that reason, Dark Side of the Moon, Splatterhouse, and Monster Bass don't have their own stats. And I want y'all to remember that we played D on the same night that we played Monster Bass. So not only did more people show up for D than anything else, they also stayed for Monster Bass. RV Winkle's got it. RV Winkle's got the right idea. Is this biased towards weekend streams? Yes. This is something that we haven't talked about. But it is a very distinct phenomenon, at least on my channel. And it wouldn't surprise me if it is for other channels. We have a best night of the week. And it is really obvious. It is Saturday. Saturday always, with very few exceptions, Saturday has the best viewership of any night. And that shouldn't surprise anybody. The next day is Sunday. It's a lot easier for people to stay up until the ass end of the night watching stupid shit, as opposed to any other night. It's ladies' night. Yeah, there you go. I think we're all expecting more from Monster Bass than we got. Yeah, I think that's certainly true as well. So yeah, D was a Saturday game. Pony Island was a Saturday game. Clock Tower was a Saturday game. Now, Deception... What were the other Saturday games? I already forgot. Hang on a sec. I got that chart here somewhere. No, not there. Not there. Deception and the second half of Faith were our other Saturday games. And Faith is right there in the middle. Deception, I think the deal with Deception might more be the nature of that game than anything. It was one of the slower games that we played in Spooktober. So I think viewership, actually there's a really funny thing that happened with viewership in Deception. I should go ahead and mention any game, I think by Saturday, Deception was getting kind of samey. Deception started on Saturday. You may very well stand by your statement, but that was actually the first night of Deception. Anything on here that was streamed over multiple nights, this is an average of all of those nights. And I think that's worth mentioning as well, because there is a very, very clear phenomenon on Twitch, not just on my channel, on pretty much any channel, where if you do a full playthrough of something, the first night of it is always going to be the best night. With very, very, very few exceptions. Viewership always falls off after the first night. And there's a really funny thing that happened in Deception, I think, because we only played Deception 2 nights, if I remember correctly. Was that right? Yeah, we only played Deception 2 nights, Saturday and Monday. On the second night of Deception, that was the night where I was fighting that that absolutely bullshit fight, and I died for the first time. So Twitch shows you your average viewership in like, I think 10 or 15 minute increments. And I swear to God, chat, I swear to God, the second night I was playing Deception, and viewership always, like, it always just trends up. from the start of the stream, because more people trickle in over that first hour, right? The exact moment, literally the moment when I died, viewership went pfft. It dropped by like seriously 20%, like instantly. And I kind of understand some of the psychology of that, because I think part of that, okay, you're starting from a base of a not terribly engaging game, right? I think we can all agree on that. Whatever you think about deception in your own time, like streaming deception, it's certainly not as good a stream game as a lot of these other ones. I think part of it was people who were already kind of on the fence, and then when I died, they realized, oh god, I'm gonna have to watch that whole sequence I just sat through over again. Laters. And I think there's also a subset of viewers, I don't think it's anybody here, but maybe random folk that wander in, because we do get a fair number of random folk wandering through. Any channel does. I think there's a bit of a culture on Twitch of wanting to see people do well. I think there's a significant subset of viewers who are on Twitch to watch people just dominate a game. Just like break it over their knee, exhibit complete mastery of it, that ephemeral skill that y'all are here for. And I think when a streamer proves that they are not up to the task, a lot of those random people that have that mindset just vanish. I'm random folk. Hi, random folk wandering through. Ooh. Those that have got good, yes. See how that would happen in general? Gotta watch the streamer replay that whole segment. How's that play Deception? Every mission I saw was the same anyway. Yeah. Deception was kind of already in a bad place. Deception was already a terribly repetitive game. And so adding additional repetition by dying, I think, was the last straw for a lot of people. So. Yes, very good point, Satellite Sun. If somebody's thinking of bailing anyway, death is as good a stopping point as any. So yeah. Went from kind of tedious but funny and goofy into really tedious to the point of you dying. Yes, I would definitely agree with that. Yeah. I just fall asleep at some point during the stream these days. I mean, I think that's another point that's worth making since we're talking about viewership. I stream at a really awkward hour for most people in the world. And I stream 6 nights a week. That's a lot. That is a lot to ask of regular viewers. So it doesn't surprise me that frankly, as we all get older, it's gonna be harder for some people to hang through the entire stream night after night after night. I think that's kind of unavoidable. So it gets harder. It gets harder for me to stay up and play stuff as I get older. I don't know how many of you long-timers remember. I feel like I used to go late on a lot more streams than I do now. I feel like me streaming like 4.5 hours at a stretch was more common like even a year or two ago. But I feel it now. I don't have as much energy to do that anymore. Sometimes 3 hours is asking a lot from me. Been up since like 3:45 a.m., so I'm due to pass the fuck out. That's also, I honestly totally forgot about that, Lodro High. I did also used to stream 10 to 1. My schedule's actually changed a lot over the years. We've actually shaken things up quite a bit. It's much easier for you to catch your streams then. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that. It was a more convenient time for you to jump in. So. And much harder for others, so yeah. Yeah, there's no perfect time slot. I think there's definitely a better time slot than what I stream in, but also with the family here on the West Coast, it's just, this is what I got. This is what I've got to work with, so. Anyway, this is the viewership that I wanted to share with you, so you had some idea of where everything fell. The real takeaway from this is the power of Saturday streaming. Stuff that I stream on Saturdays does really, really well. The big games we played, Parasite Eve, Undying, Eternal Darkness, they all did fine. Somebody asked if we did all of Faith. Yes, we did all 3 chapters of Faith. Friday night was chapters 1 and 2, and Saturday night was chapter 3. The new stuff, though. Indeed, Dave, indeed. I feel like the drop-off here is okay. First of all, I'd also like to mention, this is the point where I wanted to mention this. Nothing about this chart is bad. And in fact, Spooktober was the best month we've ever had in one very specific way, and that's the floor. The floor, the minimum viewership for our streams has been higher in October than any month I've ever streamed, which is good, which is a very, very, very good thing. In some ways, kind of more exciting than the ceiling rising, because it means more people are sitting around. What was the floor? 20. I almost got through Spooktober without ever having a stream drop into the teens for average viewership, but I did have 2 nights where it did. Echo Night 2 was 1, and Yomawari was 1. But other than that, everything was 20 or above, which is higher than it's been before. Pretty much every month that I've streamed before, there have been nights where it dips pretty precipitously into the teens for whatever reason. I might be long playing a game that's not super popular with people, or we might just have like a random night where folks don't make it out. But Spooktober was actually very, 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 very healthy. Rising Vivictus lifts all boats. I'm probably gonna pass on more Yomawari in the future. I know. These ones at the bottom, I think I can attribute to more contentious tastes, I guess. Yomawari and the Witch's House are both more, they're more Japanese. They're more anime, for lack of a better word, than the rest of the games we play. And I know some people have feelings about that, so. Well, and then there's the emotional component of Yomawari too. Yomawari is pretty intense with its story, so that is very true. So sometimes I think with a lot of the more Japanese games that we play around here, that does also tend to go hand in hand too. The games that we do play tend to have pretty intense emotional beats. So yeah, that's understandable. That's definitely understandable. So I really like these games. I will stream the 3rd one at some point, but I also recognize that the Yomawari games are much more niche than most of the stuff that we play around here. And I think the same can be said for our RPG Maker horror. It's not everybody's bag. I really like it. We definitely have people around here who really like it, but it's not as much a general interest as a lot of the other stuff. Gouged my finger putting together a test tube rack. It's kind of out. I bet it is. Damn. Yikes. But anyway, I think that covers the viewership. I think that's everything that I wanted to say about it. Overall, really good. And some unsurprising trends, more with the days and less with the game content. I feel like the popular stuff, we could kind of see that coming, and the less popular stuff isn't really a surprise. So with that in mind, let's talk about likes. You know, those things you do with Dragon Coins. I actually pay attention to these. You might not think I do, but I do. I keep track of all of these. I always make note of the most liked games from every month. Even though y'all tend to meme pretty hard with likes, don't think that's escaped my purview. But I do pay attention to this stuff. And interestingly enough, the most liked game of Spooktober was Faith by a significant margin. People were really, really into that. At least insofar as pushing a button to say, I really, really, really like it. Is Emerald around? Hope not, because Yumi Nikki was... Yeah, I know. Specifics. Says right on it, do not spam or meme with it. So of course people are going to meme with it. Of course. Bit sad about Splatterhouse. I don't think Splatterhouse is really surprising where it ended up, because it's... Okay, so we're getting ahead of ourselves. I'm gonna jump ahead a bit to one of the conclusions of all this, but it's not new or surprising information. And in fact, I think we've talked about this before. The stuff that does the best on this channel is stuff that, I mean, really the only way I can put it is it's stuff that I can react to. It's stuff that elicits a strong reaction in me, and that's either surprise or shock or enjoyment or disgust or something like that. So games like, I think you can see that here, Faith, Eternal Darkness, and Clock Tower, and D. I think D deserves to, actually all this top 5 here in terms of likes. Faith, Eternal Darkness, Clock Tower, D, and Parasite Eve all had some crazy shit in them. You know, Faith was weird and intense, had some really good scares in it, some really neat moments. Also, I think this might have been like a lot of folks around here were interested in Faith from the beginning, and I think a lot of folks were also excited about playing something more modern too. Seventh Guest had some weird stuff in it. Tempered by the kind of sleepy pace of its gameplay, and also I think the overall quality. Like, D got significantly more likes than the Seventh Guest because they kind of fall into that I would put them in the same bucket as of weird, old, kind of bad, kind of horror adventure, but D was just way crazier about it. D had some, like, I mean, the cutscenes in D were insane. The like, some of the puzzles were like just shocking in how bad they were, whereas the Seventh Guest was more of like a baseline bad, I think. You know what I'm saying here? D was special. D was slow, it was glacially paced, it was tedious, the puzzles sucked, but it did it in a really like shocking and surprising way that was fun. Yeah. Like Silver Mike saying, D went fun places, Seventh Guest was just kind of sort of weird. Yeah, exactly. D was a lot more not vivacious, not rambunctious, audacious, like my name. D was a lot more audacious in its badness than the Seventh Guest was. Eternal Darkness should be no shock. Eternal Darkness is, I feel like Eternal Darkness is one of those magical games like The Outer Wilds that's like perfect for streaming on my channel, but really hard to find something like very similar to. Clock Tower was like, it was a perfect little one-night game. It didn't have the most exciting gameplay, but because it was so small in scope and so short, like the really shocking, interesting stuff came like pretty regularly in that one. And then Parasite Eve is insane. Parasite Eve is a giant, bizarre clusterfuck. Clock Tower was concise, yeah. I think, Pony Island, viewership for Pony Island was really good. Likes were fine. I think Pony Island was another good example of a game that does well around here. Parasite Eve is great, exactly. Mystery of the Druids, I attribute these to memes. Yomawari, like I said, we have a subset of viewership that really likes Yomawari. And then I don't think any of the ones that got no likes are very surprising. Witch's House, Echo Knight 2, Dark Side of the Monster Bass, and Splatterhouse. So this is what I was getting at with Splatterhouse. These games, whatever you might have thought about them, I don't think any of these games elicited any really strong reactions in people. Like, which I enjoyed. I gotta watch myself here. I mostly enjoyed playing these. But stuff like The Witch's House it was a solid RPG Maker horror game, but it was also a very baseline RPG Maker horror game. There was nothing really shocking or outlandish about it. I mean, it's also one of the older and more well-known ones out there, so I think it probably set some trends too, but it's kind of beside the point. Echo Knight 2. The Echo Knight games are really neat, but they're also really, really subdued. Like, incredibly subdued. So, the games that were like the second half of Knights, Dark Side of the Moon, Monster Bass, Splatterhouse, I think at that point, like, there's another phenomenon on Twitch where you're kind of setting yourself up for a bit of a fall if you change games during a stream where that's not the overtly stated point of the stream. Like, Variety Nights are fine. You can do whatever the fuck you want on Variety Nights. Wheel Nights, people know what they're getting into. But if I start playing the seventh guest, and I beat the seventh guest like halfway through the night, and I'm like, oh shit, what do we do now? Let's play this other random FMV game. So people who are there to see the seventh guest. If you change to something that's not the seventh guest, inevitably you're gonna lose people. No matter how close the second game is to the first game. And then the people who do stick around may not end up being that interested in the second game anyway, so. The algorithm wants you to be riled up, it does. Yeah, the algorithm does not like chill. Streamers are not meant to be chill. That's Twitch's policy. That's just how it works. So. We want the wheel, I know. I know you do. We will do the wheel. Soon, I hope. I didn't watch much of Echo Knight 2, but definitely didn't hold my interest as much as the original. That's also true. That's all. It did seem like a bit of a step back from the original, but it's just a very slow-paced game. So Splatterhouse. The thing about Splatterhouse is I don't think Splatterhouse rides this weird line where it's probably too crass and gross for some people, but also doesn't really drive that sort of like bombastic engagement. It doesn't elicit the same responses that something like a Clock Tower or a D would, and I think that's why it ended up where it did. To say nothing of having to follow another game's act. I think it's just in an unfortunate place where what it's doing both drives away some people and doesn't really elicit the reactions it needs to in others. So. This Moon Logic with 7th Guest seems like it was on another level. The retro version, the retro one, PM Collector Boy. We played the original arcade Splatterhouse, which I had a good time with it. I thought it was fun. It was mean. It was mean as hell. But it also, you know, it wasn't mean in a really audacious way. And that's one of the hard things about picking games to stream is like you could be like, okay, I'm gonna play a really hard game. I'm gonna play a game that beats me up because Twitch likes seeing people struggle and overcome adversity and do all this shit. But that comes in so many varieties, you know? There are so many ways for a game to be mean. Some games are mean in really boring ways. Some games are mean in really subtle ways. And some games are mean in really, like, overt, in-your-face ways. Where a giant mushroom man, like, sidesteps past a bunch of people and, like, Falcon punches you off a cliff. You know? That's why people love Dark Souls. We know he's predisposed to audacious. Guy Watch is super good at it. He only really struggles with the bubble baby room. I might have to check that out, PM Collector Boy. It'd be interesting to see somebody who's actually good at Splatterhouse. All right, so those are all the metrics derived directly from Twitch. Now, at long last, we can talk about your favorites. Now, chat, we're going to talk about the games that you went out of your way after seeing everything. After this month-long survey of horror games, 16 in all. Let's talk about Poggy's in chat. let's talk about the games that you actually did say yes. Yes, I love this game. All right? And to the shock of literally nobody, Eternal Darkness ran away with it. For a while, Eternal Darkness was unanimous. Literally unanimous. Oh, full disclosure, we had 20 responses. So all of these, like, keep that in mind, all of these are out of 20 responses. So 20 responses, 14 said Eternal Darkness, something like 70-some%. And there are 20 people in chat. Coincidence? I think not. 20 responses, 20 floor minimum viewership. Maybe this is just, it's just my fate. I have rolled the natural 20, chat. The true natural 20, the one that just happens to you. So again, I would say the top 4, no big surprises there. Eternal Darkness, Parasite Eve, Clock Tower, Faith. Yomawari, I think that is the vocal subset that really likes those games. After Yomawari, there's a bit of a fall off. Some people, four of you out there were really getting into D, I gotta say. Alas, poor Oddish, never to be a partner. You know what? I accept my fate with gratitude because I get to be here anyway. Little surprised Pony Island was so low. I wonder if maybe Pony Island, because you gotta remember this is favorites, right? I feel like for a lot of people, they're gonna be considering their favorites as the stuff that really stood out to them, right? Naturally, that's gonna be like Eternal Darkness, the insanity of Parasite Eve, the thrills of Clock Tower. I think maybe Pony Island was just good for a lot of people. I think maybe they enjoyed it and they moved on, and that was that. I think a lot of the games on the lower end here, I think that's kind of where people fell. I think that's why you don't get more responses for something like The Seventh Guest or The Witch's House, especially something like The Witch's House. Because I mean, The Witch's House was picked alongside Pony Island to be our community night game. Obviously, people didn't hate it. Obviously, people weren't really down on it. But I think it may have been more of just like a good baseline experience than the highs we hit with stuff like Eternal Dark. So it's in retrospect, it's kind of hard to put stuff up against Eternal Darkness. That is a really special game. How the hell did Monster Bass get a favorite vote? You know. People around here, that's how they're gonna be. I mean, somebody did nominate it, it's true. That wasn't me. I got really excited about it, but somebody else did have to nominate it. I had a funny thought reading through this title, Dark Side of the Witch's Monster Bass. Do you not remember anything about Dark Side of the Moon? It was after we finished The Seventh Guest. You might have been out or gone to bed by that time. I think it was the last hour or 45 or 75 minutes of that. But that's a more modern FMV game. It's got it's a lot of the same cast as Contradiction. So it was interesting. But I also think Dark Side of the Moon also kind of suffers from that condition that we've been talking about with stuff like Witch's House and Splatterhouse, where at least the part that we played of it is it's interesting, it's good, but nothing like super outlandish. Nothing to really get the juices flowing, to get the likes flowing, to get those hot streamer reactions that the platform's looking for. I know, and that's the real tragedy, Baconcopter. I've heard from you and other people that it goes absolutely bugfuck nuts by the end of it, but we didn't get there, and I don't think we would, honestly. It has a decent enough hook for playing in your own time, but a stream game, I don't know. I wasn't entirely sold on it. So, All right, chat. So these were your favorites. Did you get to the salvia part? No, I didn't actually. I did not. Yeah. All right. So these are your favorites. So what were they're in a selfie. So what were your least favorites then? Again, this really shouldn't be any surprise. Monster Bass ran the fuck away with this. Originally when I was setting up this survey, I was gonna make it a single choice. You were gonna have to pick your one favorite game of the month and your one least favorite game of the month. And I realized very early on that was going to yield no useful information whatsoever because everybody was just gonna pick Monster Bass. So I made it so that you could choose multiples, and we have this handy chart that we have here. Unsurprisingly, Monster Bass, Mystery of the Druids, D. I feel like this is mainly going off of quality. Monster Bass was like the only truly bad game that we played. Yeah, literally no least favorites on Eternal Dark. I feel like that is pretty momentous. It is the only game of the entire month that nobody least favorited. But yeah, Monster Bash was truly awful, and I think this reflects that. Mystery of the Druids, I think that this is more reflecting the quality of the game than the quality of the stream. Did not vote for Monster Bass on account of not watching Monster Bass. That's fair. That's entirely fair. I think D wins the award for most contentious. So, my takeaway from D, based on this survey and viewership, is that people don't regret us playing D. Aside from myself, I regret it. I don't think anybody is sorry that we played D. I think these least favorites are more a reflection of the quality of the game. Now, if I'm wrong, if I'm off base, if you did vote D as your least favorite because you really didn't want us to play it, then by all means correct me. But I feel like with the data that I have, with it being the most watched game of the month, it getting like a fair number of likes, it getting some favorites in addition to least favorites, that's my takeaway. That's how I choose to interpret this. A very different interpretation from something like Monster Bass, but Dark Side of the Undying Splatterhouse, that's pretty good. By the same token, I think the least favorites for Deception were because people didn't like watching it, and I think that's fair. Seventh Guest, similarly, had a few people that came out against Yomawari in the Witch's House, and then just a few single least favorites for everything else aside from Eternal Darkness. I think that's natural. I think that's just different strokes for different folks. I don't think there's any real important data to be taken from that. So, no big surprises here, right? I think we're all on the same page, really. So, what did I do with this information? We'll get to the games that y'all wished we had played in a minute, but I took this and I came up with something I called appreciation. I took the favorites, I subtracted the least favorites, and I got kind of like a net appreciation for these games. And I thought this was pretty interesting. I thought this was kind of cool. Wiped your ass with it? I think this PowerPoint presentation is a little higher class than wiping my ass with it. It's more shocking there's anything that got 0 votes for least favorite. Indeed. Wait. Dark Side of the D. Oddish, do you have to make PowerPoints at work? Nope. I do not. I make PowerPoints for fun. I make PowerPoints in my free time. I actually spent several hours of my life this week making all this. And if it doesn't seem like this would take you a couple hours to make, wait until we get to the next game stuff, because I've got a different slide layout. Which games drove engagement with the viewing populace? So I think this gives a pretty clear picture of like the big winners of the month: Eternal Darkness, Parasite Eve, Clock Tower, Faith. The stuff that was less engaging or more contentious, we haven't talked about Undying very much, but I did get the impression, really from the way that people talked about it, that Undying was a bit contentious. There were some folks that were kind of into it for its retro FPS weirdness, but I think there were more folks who were like, yeah, this is getting really long and tedious, please stop. And I think the net result is that it was just okay. Which is how it's ended up in the positive. I'm satisfied. Yeah, I think the stuff in the middle just really didn't elicit really strong responses, like these games up here. Yeah, Undying was just kind of there, and I think that was the case with a lot of these games. Echo Knight 2 was just kind of there. Pony Island, I think people enjoyed it in the moment, but I don't think it drove any real powerful engagement or anything like that. And then you can see the ones where people like Monster Bass was a legit dislike. Mystery of the Druids, I see this kind of as a split. I think there were people who genuinely did not like Mystery of the Druids and didn't think it was worth playing, and then other people who were like, yeah, this is bad, but I'm glad we checked it out. And then D just kind of evened itself out, really. So, was there any greater overarching takeaway from this? Well, I did one more thing with this data. I decided to try charting viewership versus appreciation to see what that turns up. And again, no real revelations here. The tall bars are viewership. I should have labeled these axes, but it's all gray anyway, so fuck it. The shorter stuff that goes into the negatives is the appreciation. I gave the stuff that split nights, like Monster Bass, Splatterhouse, and Dark Side of the Moon, I just gave them the same viewership as the games that they were with. So, this chart is Chef's Kiss. Graphic design is my passion, Dom. I clicked through a lot of different charts with this data, and I was like, does this mean anything? Is there anything happening here? And this is the closest one to actually indicating something. So, bars the same color, game names aren't lined up in a meaningful way. Information of Dallas utilities just. This is a chat. This is what I've been building up to. This is what I've been hyping for more than a week. We're doing a just chatting stream. We're gonna break down Spooktober. We're gonna talk about what you liked, what you didn't. There's gonna be learnings. There's gonna be lessons from this. There's gonna be stats and charts. This is what you got. This is what everyone was waiting for. I like this more than half of Spooktober. I mean, I've been watching the likes roll in all night tonight. I'd take note of that. If our just chatting streams ever top the likes and viewership for the month, I'm gonna know it's time for a career shift. My old data viz professor would really make hay out of this. Don't tell them, Deep Thought. I don't need any angry emails. So, yeah. Stuff that you guys liked did better. Stuff that you didn't like so much, or stuff that you didn't have real. I think I think if there's any takeaway from this war crime of a chart here, it's that stuff that y'all liked or had reactions to did well in terms of viewership. Stuff that was more middling did less well. So here's the breakdown on which just chatting streams you guys like. Yeah, eventually it's just going to be a big Ouroboros of me like talking about the metrics of just chatting streams during just chatting streams. And it's just that's what it's going to be. It's going to be an utter nightmare. And in that stream, the highest ranked chart was, oh god, yeah, I need to start surveying you on which charts are your favorites. Maybe for the next just chatting stream, I should put out a vote for your favorite kinds of charts. Like if you prefer bar or line or pie or like radial area charts. I'm holding out for the Gantt chart. Those we actually do at work, so that's never happening. Pie, I need a pie. I felt like none of this data was really good for a pie chart, you know? At least the way I was collecting data. Our more baseline votes are better for pies, but you know. Okay. So anyway, we've all had a good laugh at this. Let's talk about the last data point that I obtained from you all. The ones that got away, the ones that you all wish we had played. And there were definitely some very expected responses on this. There were a few that fell outside the bounds and kind of surprised me, but so one that was mentioned was The Lost Crown, which I'm not particularly familiar. I don't even remember if we voted on this now that I'm thinking about it. Actually, yeah, I should have looked this up earlier. Yeah, I don't remember. No, this was something we did not even vote on. So I guess it's something that somebody realized after the fact. So I'm not familiar with that one. I might look it up sometime. Interesting it was mentioned. Is one you thought about nominating later? I gotcha. There was some noise made about some spooky horror themed Neverwinter Nights mods, and this was one of them that made it back on the list. So I do think we're gonna do some Infinity Engine stuff at some point, and we may work ourselves up to Neverwinter Nights and some user made modules. The thing I'm really thinking about right now is either Planescape Torment or Icewind Dale, depending on how deep into the weeds we want to get. Because Icewind Dale is more of just a hacky slashy adventure-y thing, and Planescape is like maximum story. Audience for Neverwinter Nights horror games is probably just a sliver of RPG Maker horror games. It could be interesting. It could be an interesting experience. I guess we'll have to test the water with some Infinity Engine game, because I haven't streamed any of them. I haven't even streamed an old Fallout or anything like that. So we'll give it a try. We will give it a try at some point. We'll see how it does. So, there's still, chat, there's still a lot of kinds of games that I haven't tried streaming. Like, there are entire genres that I feel like I haven't really touched yet. Planescape is a damn masterpiece, and I have never finished it. I've gotten like halfway through it, I think. And I've never had the momentum to get all the way through it. Yeah, like speedrunning a game, exactly, because that's gonna happen. Dead Space. This was an interesting one to pop up. I would love to do Dead Space sometime. I have not revisited Dead Space since I played it on its original release on Xbox 360, and I've never played Dead Space 2. So I think the Dead Space games would be really, really fun. You want to talk about some visceral reactions? I think that would elicit them. I think it's been long enough since I last played Dead Space that I've forgotten a lot of the things that happen in it, so. Pretty much need to play Dead Space 1 on an Xbox. I know how to fix the PC version. I had a problem with the Steam version where there's a door early on that you can't pass, and I found out what the problem is there. I got it working. So we can actually stream it on PC. Lisa the Painful would have been a good addition. I can't do that. I have tried to play Lisa in my own time, and it is too depressing for me. I can't handle that game. It's rare. It doesn't happen a whole lot that I just like tap out of a game completely, but Lisa like it flips some switch in my brain where it's like it's too miserable for me. I can't handle that one, so. I understand it's a good game. I would have liked to have played more of it, but it was killing me inside. It was destroying my emotions. Lisa and Johnny the Pulsating Mass, hit that button for you. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Sucker for Love is an interesting mention. We actually played the demo for this when we did Dread X Collection 2. And I've heard this is really fun. So that is definitely a possibility for the future. Some of us around here like our visual novels, and I feel like this one could be a bit of a crossover hit for some folks that might not come out for other visual novel dating sim kinds of things because of what it is and what it be and how it do. Nightmare Creatures. Nightmare Creatures, I think, was one that we voted on, and it just didn't quite make the cut. So that might be something that we look at in the future. Sucker for Love was specifically for the cute horror list. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it came up on the community night vote. Yeah. Doom 3 is a video game that we could play at some point, I guess. Speaking of visual design, love this font color. Shut up. just shut up. I'm a writer, okay? They didn't teach us in writing classes how to creatively format our shit, all right? I know. I fixed it for the next section, okay? Just deal with it. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I'm narrating this anyway. What else do you want from me? Splatterhouse 2, which I have no problem giving a try sometime. We might do like an arcade night one night. I feel like Splatterhouse at this point is probably a better fit for like a variety night where we play a number of like shorter horror themed or arcade games or something. Need text with contrasting outline to be readable against a regular background. Okay. I will keep that in mind. Not enough Comic Sans. I will also keep that in mind, definitely. Baroque came up. Baroque was on the vote. Baroque, I think Baroque barely missed the mark on this, if I remember correctly. I forget where exactly it fell. Something I'll keep in mind for the future. Some papyrus for the titles. Ecstatica. Ecstatica keeps coming around and around and around. It keeps getting mentioned. I would like to give this one a try sometime, maybe sooner than you might think. Godsmack cues the start of every slide. Get out and then further out. And I think this is a good time to mention that not every bit of feedback was necessarily the most serious. Some of you had more fun than others with this. In case there was any question who gave this bit of feedback. But yeah, there were a few more actually that came in late that I didn't put on here because, you know, formatting. My formatting is so careful and well planned out that I couldn't really fit anything else on here. So some other stuff that was mentioned. Wizardry is not a horror game, but okay. Phasmophobia. I know y'all. We played Phasmophobia multiplayer once before, and we had a good time with it. It's definitely a spoopy game. I don't like the developer so much anymore. The developer did some kind of shitty things not too long ago, so I think I'd prefer to just kind of leave that game behind at this point. The Frankenstein game with Tim Curry, the FMV one, I definitely would like to play that at some point. I don't know what Pingus is. Somebody mentioned Pingus. In Sound Mind, and then there was one person who was just really excited for us to get back to the Power Hours. So. Wizardry has ghosts and zombies and skeletons. Tell me again, isn't spooky? So does Final Fantasy. Never been able to watch a Phasmophobia stream. It's just for you, regardless of the streamer. I can kind of understand that too. You really have to get caught up in the themes of it. Pingus is a sequel to the D's Nuts. Oh really? Who's D? All right, chat. So that's it. That's what we got. That is the data from Spooktober. That is our Spooktober breakdown. Overall, I would say a very successful month. in terms of viewership, in terms of viewer enjoyment, in terms of engagement, in terms of other buzzwords that content creators like to sling around. But I had a good time. And I think for the most part, people had a good time. We played some contentious games. We played at least one pretty bad game. But it was definitely worth doing. I think we've proven that much. And I think it's also kind of helped us narrow down a bit what kinds of stuff really does well for streams, what kind of stuff helps keep people around, bring random people around. Otis Baconcopter says your mom wasn't him. Of course he did.
Dogs of the AMS. Time they made a move.
You should have played some Final Fantasy for Spooktober. That would have been pretty scary, yeah. So yeah. Oh, it was you? Nice. So yeah. I think it was a good month. I think it was good. I think we will definitely do something like this again next year. Definitely with a different theme. I think by then we'll be ready to tackle a different theme than just more weird old horror games. There's also plenty of stuff, some stuff on this list, some stuff that was on the original voting list that I would like to play just during the year, because it fits our weird old theme and is interesting enough to be worth giving a try. So yeah. I think that about covers Spooktober, chat. So now, next year's theme is good games for the love of God, you maniacs. Okay, as much as I love planning ahead, I am not planning ahead for next Spooktober, because I'm going to be a different person by then. I don't know how I'm going to feel or what I'm going to want to do by then. I don't know how the intervening year is going to treat me. So we'll get to it when we get to it. I prefer horror games as leavening. Too much is too much. I feel like this one was good because we didn't actually play that much like really hardcore horror stuff. You know, I feel like a lot of the stuff that we played, like Parasite Eve is not a particularly scary game. It's got some creepy moments in it. It's got some gross moments in it, but it's not like really visceral in your face horror in the way that something like Faith is, you know. So, and for me, I think that's the thing. I don't think I could do a whole month of like really like visceral first person haunted house ghost all up in your grill horror. I think my heart would give out. But this kind of mixed and more restrained horror or just generally creepy stuff, I think can fill an entire month. Cheers, Spooktober kicks a ton of ass, lots of variety, good games, bad games, dumpster fire games. Too true. Oddish will own Twitter by then. I might be the only person left on it by then if I don't vacate, so. All right, chat. Well, I said that was going to take an hour, and I guess it technically did, because we didn't start talking until 9:30, and now it's 10:30. So I was right, just in the wrong way. But I think we can move on to a more important topic, a much more pressing topic, and that being the next game. I always forget to account for the preamble. That's absolutely true to it. I think some part of me thought that I was going to go through all those stats and stuff a lot faster, but I always discount the fact that I kind of have something extra to say about everything else. Like every single slide, like I was like, okay, I can just show them likes and be like, these are the games you liked and move on. But no, I can expand on like everything. Yes, oh hi. Yes, this is from the third Yomura game. Don't read too much into this. I thought it was nice thematic consistency with the background that I used for the Spooktober stuff. And it's also, you know, thematic with what we're talking about now. Niece called, she's doing well, and I missed all the talk about games we didn't play. I did, Lojo High, don't worry. I shouted out Excrucio Aeternum. And I mentioned that we're probably not going to jump directly into Neverwinter Nights mods But what I'm probably gonna do is sometime in the near future, we're gonna do an Infinity Engine game. I'm thinking probably Icewind Dale or Planescape Torment, but I'm open to other suggestions and possibilities. And then depending on how that does, we may work our way into Neverwinter Night stuff. So. What happened to that pretty red text though? I guess I kind of came around a bit on this one. Of all the PowerPoint presentations I've watched, this one. Stop it, Deep Thought. He's already dead. This was one of them. Yes, it is. All right, chat. Here's the deal. This one's important because we're actually going to decide something tonight. The Spooktober stuff was just me sharing information. Oh, god damn it, 2 hit. Deep Thought 76 living up to their name. I forgot to put ice on that. It's tepid. Okay. As opposed to Spooktober stuff, we are actually going to decide on something tonight because in the wake of Spooktober, I have had a lot of thoughts about things we can and should play. And I assembled a couple of votes that I thought would work. That I thought were a good spread of games, stuff that y'all might be interested in picking between. Stuff like that. The problem is, I came up with what I think is 3 really good lists, and I couldn't decide between them. So, what we're gonna do, I have 3 potential votes for you. I am going to present them to you. And then after that, no, that's satellite. That's what we're doing. I'm going to present you the 3 possibilities. If there's no like overwhelming consensus towards one of them, I am literally going to poll chat as a vote for the vote. At which point we will vote. So, yeah. You jest, but that's literally what we're doing. Because I'm addicted to democracy or something. It's a primary, yes. We're doing a primary. We're doing an on-the-spot primary. So, with no further ado, because we need to just... I'm just upset we didn't get to vote on the layout of how we see what we'll be voting on to determine what we'll be voting on. Democracy double down. Registered RPG. Can we vote on this? We need a straw poll. Coming again to save the motherfucking day. All right, so we're gonna vote on the format used to vote on the date. We'll take a vote for the process used to count the votes. Will be used to consider the nominees for the votes. Okay. With no further ado, let me show you what I came up with. The first one is The Revenge of Spooktober. I know there were some games that we voted for that got way up there that we didn't end up playing, and people were like, oh, that's too bad. That sucks. So there's this. This is one option. If one of these games, or many of these games, were absolutely heartbreaking for us to pass on. And yes, I know I put Clive Barker's Jericho on here. I know that's a thing that I did. System Shock, the original, Shadow Tower, Ecstatica, Fear, and Clive Barker's Jericho. By the way, I also want to mention, while we're here, this is not the last gasp of any of these games. All of these will certainly be possibilities for the future. We're just talking about this next upcoming vote. So this is one possibility. If you are still itching, if you want that last gasp of Spooktober, if you want one more game that didn't make the cut, this is one possibility for you. I'm not against it on principle, I'm against it now. Okay, so this is option 1. The Revenge of Spooktober. Remember this. Engrave it upon your heart. All right, option 2 that I came up with. I've talked about this one before, and I know I got some positive feedback on it. Revenge of Spooktober should be in February or something. Is the Community Redux. We have played a couple community night games for only a single night that I feel like people probably wanted to see more of. So I'm giving you another shot, is the idea here. Gothic, yeah, I know. Arx Fatalis, Crusader No Remorse, and Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl, the original one. Ooh, Jones in the fast lane. Ooh, no. Oh my god, no. Absolutely not. No chance. For those of you concerned about Gothic, I've come around on this one. I think since settling into my groove of weird old games, I'm much more open to actually playing Gothic. Much more open to it than I was when I actually did play it, so. Yes to this list. A resounding meh from the Winkle in the audience. This is the easy winner. Well, there's one more possibility. There is one more possibility, and this may appeal to some of you, depending on how long you've been around. The third option is a continuing series. I have started a lot of series. I played the first entry or early entries in a lot of series that we've kind of left hanging for some time, some longer than others. And so this would be a chance to actually jump back onto those trains. And there's a couple possibilities here. This would include Dark Souls, King's Field 2, Dungeon Keeper 2, Thief Deadly Shadows. That's the third Thief game, minding. Romancing Saga, which is promised. We are going to do that at some point. And Legacy of Kain. Because we've only played one game of Legacy of Kain, and I want to jump on Soul Reaver sometime. Dark Souls. Sold, I vote for 3. Here's the vote I care about. Absolutely this one. Some good choices here. Hey, this list is almost all RPGs. List 3. Dick move, make me choose between Dark Souls and King's Field. I want all 3 lists, so 3 is probably going to win. It does, I will say this, it does sound like 3 is the consensus. It sounds like this is a pretty easy choice. If there's any pushback against that, if there's anybody who's like, no, I really want the third list, or I really want the second list, or something, speak now, because otherwise I think we're just gonna go with this one. I will, it's the equivalent of a voice vote at the national convention. The ayes have it. Silver Mike likes the second list. Do we have anybody else in the bag for the second list? I know Bacon Copter's kind of flexible on these. 2 is down for 2 or 3. Second list is okay. Boot Blacking knows what they want. Actually, not sure which of those I'd vote for, but third list is your favorite. Thief, Stalker, and Fear. It's a lot of possibilities. Definitely a lot of possibilities. And again, all of these games are going to come back around. I know those community games that are on list 2. I know people are interested in those. This will not be the last time that I offer those up, okay? We go for list 3, or possibly list 3. List 3 has the 2 games I have the strongest feelings on. 3. Okay, let's go with 3. Let's just go ahead and call it. I will say the 3s have it. Let's just throw this bad boy on here. So give me a second, because I'm actually going to go ahead and set up the vote and open it up right now. So all y'all that have gathered here and have chosen this can go ahead and vote on it. I'm nothing but positive feelings. Excellent. All right, so, and I believe I have a list set up already. Yes, I do. I can actually use, oh, that's a weird list. Okay. Let's do this. All right. Let's see here. And this is going to be our contemporary usual sort of vote now. You can vote for as many options as you want, just 1 vote per option is the rule. Let's see. Let's save that one. Give me a second here. I can't see chat right now, so I hope you're behaving. I hope you're all being very well behaved. while I'm busy. So just to clarify, Kingsfield 2 is the one that we previewed. It's technically Kingsfield 1 here. I think y'all know what we're talking about. There shouldn't be any confusion. It's the Kingsfield after the Kingsfield that we did play. Alright, I think that's gonna do it. Y'all doing terror stuff now. Rigged early voting. I see that, Bacon Copter, you son of a bitch. As one of the big Saga supporters here, what exactly is the plan for Romancing Saga if it wins? Super Famicom version only, remake, remaster, or one of the other ones when you lose patience? So the plan from here on out is with the Saga series. I want to tour the entire Saga series. That is my goal. I want to try all of the Saga games. The original Game Boy ones, I felt confident saying I will beat these, because 2 of them I had experience with, and the 3rd one I knew was good. From here on out, it's kind of uncharted territory. I have heard mixed things about the original Romancing Saga. So I think from this point on, Saga games are going to be like attempts. I will give it a serious try. I will hang with it as long as I can, and I will drop it when I or chat or both lose interest in it. With that in mind, for Romancing Saga, it would be the Super Famicom version. I have a translated version of the original ROM already, so I can start that up at any time. So, I know the later ones got like, didn't Romancing Saga 2 and 3 get remakes on Steam? When we get to those, it'll probably be those versions, but we'll see. A lot's gonna depend on how the original goes. So, all right, chat. I think I'm ready to turn you loose on this. Let me just make sure I've got everything. Dark Souls, Kingsfield 2, Dungeon Keeper, Deadly Shadows, Romancing Saga, Legacy of... Yes, we do. All right. I'm turning you loose, chat. Vote away. Let it happen. Let the votes rain from the heavens like diamonds in the sky. You get a week. You get 1 week for this. I will call this vote at the end of, let's just say the end of next Friday's stream. Whatever next Friday's stream it is, we'll call it there. So I'm gonna let y'all, I'm not gonna move on. I'm gonna give you all some time to get all the voting out of your system, because it's just gonna like cram up chat for a while. That's by design. Oh, I see that. I'm hydrating. I see it too. Hit. Here we go. Delicious. I love it. Yes, vote. Vote like your lives depend on him, because they kind of do. Save. Romancing Saga is the one that was a $50 curse challenge, right? What? A $50 curse challenge? I already voted. Stop mailing me postcards. Wait, what you mean, Silver Mike? Oh, that was Unlimited Saga? Okay. Never mind. Yeah, I had a feeling this was the one that folks were going to go for, just because this is... I feel like this list is probably the greatest I feel like this list is the greatest concentration of stuff that people have been waiting for. I do know there's some community night stuff that we should return to. Unlimited Saga is a really infamous one. The black sheep of the series is already kind of a black sheep. It's a thing done by Ty Tuesday's group of friends. Find a game no one really wants to play, put up $50 to finish it. Wow, okay. That's auspicious. Well, we're gonna get to it eventually. And we'll see how that fucking goes. They challenged Unlimited Saga blind, which was rough. Yeah, that's the other thing. I think from this point on with the Saga series, I'm gonna need some help. I know some of y'all are familiar with it, so I'm probably gonna need some help and a little bit of leading around to get through these things. Because I know they get weird. I know they go places. But yeah. All of this is stuff that we will get to. This is we're determining right now what we get to next. And whatever this is, so I'm gonna call this vote next Friday, and then we're gonna start it right after that. Whatever y'all vote in, we will start on Monday the 14th. Is my plan. Reading the manual does not help with Unlimited Saga. That's really scary, honestly. That is a really scary thing to hear. That is honestly terrifying. But I'm excited. I'm excited for all of it. I live in a permanent state of excitement, chat, for the next thing we do. The whole time we were in Spooktober, I was excited for what we were going to do after we got out of Spooktober. And I guarantee you, as soon as this vote, like, as soon as I can see which way this vote is trending, I'm already going to be thinking about the next thing after that, so. You do not want to know how many steps are involved in the process of opening a chest in Unlimited Saga? Is it worse than Might and Magic somehow? Is that possible? Can my voice get any higher? Yes. just similar, yet somehow worse. Also, for those of you concerned about the Doom stream, I believe my tentative plan is that if and when the Doom stream collection succeeds, we will play that after whatever this game. If that is amenable to you. If it's not, I guess I could drop it right in the middle or something. I'm expecting the Doom stream will be December or end of November. Okay, that pretty much tracks with what I'm planning. So yeah. Good. As long as we're cool with that. Okay, I think we can probably move on. I think the vast swath of voting has taken place, though people are certainly welcome to vote throughout the rest of the evening. But we do have a few more points to hit. There is a very important topic. Before the next game, while y'all are voting, we actually need to play something. And this is another thing where I'm kind of open to suggestion, because I realize we have 3 days next week. We have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I was like, oh, I'm sure there's something that I've been wanting to do that will fill 3 days. But it actually turned out that a lot of the things I've been thinking about are either like 1 or 2 day games, or they're like 5 or 6 day games. So I have some possibilities here. This is not going to be a vote. This is kind of like open discussion. Oh my god, y'all want shmups? Okay, well there's already a pretty powerful shmup contingent in chat. We could do 2 to 3 1 to 2 day games. I think shmups have already taken an early lead on this one. But I will at least show you what I was thinking. I had 2 sets of thoughts. We don't do so many indie games around here anymore, unless they're like special events like Faith or a community night or something. And there's a couple that would kind of fit into that spot. I've been thinking about playing through Environmental Station Alpha, which is a neat, like, retro-looking Metroidvania. We've talked about playing The Forgotten City in the past, which is a dialogue-heavy adventure mystery kind of game. Signalis just came out, and that honestly sounds like a really cool game, and it doesn't sound like it's too terribly super long. It's horror, though, so it would kind of be a continuation of Spooktober. Kona is one that I almost completely forgot about. That's like a walking sim sort of mystery game. Or something else. I'm actually kind of open to indie games if you want to like just slot them in there. I mean, we're gonna do shmups. It's probably gonna be like more modern indie stuff too. ESA is dope and fucking hard too. Yeah, I've played through like half of ESA before a long time. I think I might have actually even done it on stream. But that was a long time ago, and I don't remember very much about it. What's a 3-day game? 8 hours? 8, 9, even like 10 hours, I think, would fit the bill for 3 days. What's up, Drake Nell? We're like gold-plated gabbing. There's been plenty of that tonight. Forgotten City is quite good. You played it recently. Signalis is also dope. Heard great things about Forgotten City. Good disaster game. Dwarf Fortress is getting a Steam release. That could fill 3 days. Or 3 months, yeah. Sonic Frontiers. Yeah, that's not happening. Radiant Silvergun is pretty short. Okay, so this is one set of possibilities. Another possibility is to lean back into the retro stuff. I reposted Ecstatica, Fear, and Clive Barker's Jericho here. If those didn't get picked from that list, but people still wanted to do one of them for whatever reason. Because it turns out all of those actually fit pretty well into 3 days. We've also talked about Hexen in the past. And Yoshi's Island. Yes, I have actually promised a couple times to play Yoshi's Island and never did it. And we're still a ways away from it in the magazine. Honestly, we could play Yoshi's Island now and then play it again when it shows up in the magazine again, because it's seriously like my favorite Mario game. Hexen is the dark fantasy Doom-like. Yes, it's the very open one where you go into a level and you fight through a level to flip a switch that did something in another level somewhere. I would need a lot of help getting through that one. I think people have brought that one up because they want to see me squirm and suffer. The Resident Evil 6 of Doom Engine games, only fun with co-op. Best fit the last spell in there somewhere as a square peg in a round hole. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Looking forward, far, far forward to Yoshi's Woolly World or Crafted World. Crafted World is the newest one, right? The one on Switch. I fucking love that game. The game sucks. Hexen Met, Rise of the Triad. Oh god. Yoshi's Island is also one of my favorite games. Getting 100 on every level is actually fun. It is. It is. I have 100% of that game several times. It is wonderful. So these are possibilities. I'm definitely hearing some trends. I'm hearing shmups. I'm hearing Forgotten City. I'm hearing Yoshi's Island. Those are kind of like the 3 big ones that I'm picking up from chat. Any chance of Might and Magic 7 being in there? It's not a terribly long game. Probably not. I think when I do a Might and Magic game, I want to make sure I got enough time for it. Because we're specifically looking for something that'll slot into 3 days. And I don't want to try and crowbar in something like Might and Magic in that small a space. I still want Shmup Night Week Month. There are things I'd be happy to vote for on giving these lists. I mean, once again, chat, if we can come to some kind of consensus here, if there's something that everybody wants to rally around, we can go ahead and decide. Otherwise, I will put those options up as a vote. Phantasy Star hits that 8-hour mark almost perfectly, does it? That should be done in 2 days. How long is Might and Magic 2 anyway? Hang on a sec. Does this even know? Might and Magic 7 says it's at least a 50-hour game. So that one would probably take slightly longer to work through. Well, I need to bring up a list. I think I actually have a shmup waiting on there to suggest. Oh, so there are Uncharted Waters out there? Really? That's excessive? All, like, the only point of reference I have is how long to beat. So. Actually wishlist some games on Steam just to suggest stuff. Well, yeah, let's talk about it. This one's a pretty open discussion. I'm willing to entertain lots of options. Blood West. Ever look at that? No, what is Blood? Have a look here. Is that on Steam? Blood West, what are you? Immersive stealth FPS horror game set in a wicked Wild West. That's pretty cool. That sounds... Yeah, I don't think I've looked at this at all. It's early access though, so I feel like that would probably be a one-night game, which isn't... It's definitely not outside the realm of possibility. I could do 3 nights of single night games. That always works too. Dranius is pretty cool. Oh, dude, Toast, I was actually looking at that the other day. I saw Dranius come up in my feed, and I was like, wow, that looks fucking badass. If I can fucking spell it. Drain Us, or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, this game actually looked pretty cool. That's certainly a possibility, too. Pick a mainline Toho from Steam or other sources. Be down for Yoshi's Island. Undead cowboy thrust into an open... Not Yoshi's Island, but... You're an undead cowboy thrust into an open map against cursed monsters and you can rip your shit if you let yourself get hit. Star Valor. Drainus is good for a one-off. Yeah, Drainus does look really good. Okay, so I think... okay. Hard West 2 has looked interesting. I might try Hard West 2 at some point. I didn't like Hard West 1. I had a real problem with the mechanics in Hard West 1. We did do the demo of Cultic, everything about the full game. I bought the full game. So I do have that we can do sometime. So, okay. So how about... Okay, so here's what I'm thinking now, chat. I think we have three strong possibilities based on how people are talking. Trombone Champ one night, I could definitely do that. That looks neat. So, would you all prefer? How about this? How about this as the split? Would you prefer? No, Drake. No, this is actually helpful. This is actually really, really helpful. Because I having all these possibilities kind of helps synthesize an actual possibilities. So one possibility I'm thinking is 3 one-offs, like y'all have been suggesting. Stuff like, yeah. Oh god, another night of Yoda stories? Get the fuck out of here. So stuff like, yeah, like Blood West, Cultic. So basically we pick 3 interesting looking like indie games or whatever on Steam or wherever, and we play those. Yeah, exactly. Kind of like the test nights we were doing for a while. Test out 3 different games, see if any of them have the possibility for like a full playthrough. So that's one possibility. 3 one-offs. Another possibility, shmups. I could definitely fill 3 nights full of shmups. And this would be, I'm proposing this as a separate possibility from the test night. I know we could mix and match, but just to, you know, just to have that as its own distinct thing. Because I kind of like the idea of doing 3 whole nights of shmups. Because there's a lot of stuff out there that's really good. So 3 test nights is one possibility. 3 nights of shmups is one possibility. I'd say Yoshi's Island is another possibility because people sounded really keen on that. And I feel like 3 nights would probably be enough to... 3 nights would probably be enough to do full 100%. Like the whole thing. All the secret levels too. How do those sound as possibilities, chat? Do they sound exciting to you? Do you like those as your options? Feel like a variety? Separate test nights by genre? Yeah. All 3 sound great. 3rd night be more story-oriented. I like all of these. Can we get a mix of all of the above? I mean, I can't just throw Yoshi's Island in there, unfortunately. But I could just do... I mean, if a merging of them is what y'all want, we could do 3 test nights, and at least one of them could be shmups. Does that sound like the compromise we want? Does that sound like the hero we need, if not the one that we deserve? You digging that? Does it sound good? Because then I could definitely do... I mean, you're only giving up Yoshi's Island for the time being. Yoshi's Island is a lock for the future. Yoshi's Island is absolutely happening in the future. We will not be able... I mean, it's very likely we'll do it before we get to it in the magazine. It's absolutely guaranteed when we get to it in the magazine. So, just give me the Power Hours in 2024. That's soon, huh? Okay, yeah, let's do that. Because I think just based off of chat, just based off of what I've seen here. Let me scroll back. God, we have gone through a lot of music tonight. Like, holy shit. Let's skip ahead. That one looks interesting. Where'd they go? So I would probably do Drainus and maybe line up. So we'll do a shmup night. Probably Drainus, line up 1 or 2 other games to play in addition. I like the sound of that one game, Blood West. That sounded pretty cool. So we could do like an indie FPS night, and then the 3rd night I could figure something out there. Favor all shmups myself, but meh. Drainus Grand Cross Renovation or Squad 51. Yeah. All right, so let's do that. We're gonna do, next week is gonna be variety week. Chat. We're gonna do 1 night of shmups. We're gonna do 1 night of FPSs, and we're gonna do 1 night of, I don't know, could be anything. Platformers include. I'm not doing Yoshi's Island unless I can get a full playthrough. Yoshi's Island can wait. I might, you know what I might do? Actually, this is weirdly specific, but I might actually do Yoshi's Island around Christmas time, because I have a very strong memory of from my childhood of getting Yoshi's Island 1 year for Christmas. The year it came out, I got it for Christmas. And then it snowed. I don't think it either snowed on Christmas or it snowed a couple days after Christmas. And I remember waking up early in the morning, and it was just dumping snow outside. It was just going crazy, and it was kind of too early to go out and play in the snow, because I had to pace myself, otherwise I wear myself out. So I got on the Super Nintendo, and I was playing, and I was in World 5, which has a bunch of like snowy, airy, mountainous levels, and I just remember it being like this perfect confluence of experiences. Playing this game that I was just absolutely loving to the very core of my being, and it pouring down snow right outside my window, and yeah, it felt so cozy and so comfortable and so wonderful. So yeah, I kind of associate Yoshi's Island a bit with Christmas because of that. I got a lot of games for Christmas as a kid, but that one is really kind of locked in as like a quintessentially Christmas experience. So yeah, let's maybe plan for that then. Sounds to you like we got Chrono Trigger one Christmas. Yeah, I mean it happened a lot. I got Chrono Trigger. I got Secret of Evermore, Final Fantasy 3. I got a lot of games for Christmas. The other memory I have of Christmas games, there was one year. It was after I had shifted over to PC gaming, and my parents for Christmas got me Half-Life, Caesar 3, and something else. I can't remember that third game, and I'm ashamed of that. But Half-Life to me is a game for all seasons. But Caesar 3 actually, I think, is another one that's kind of locked in as like a Christmas game, because I played it so much during that break. And I didn't come back to it as often as I did Half-Life, because like I said, Half-Life was a game that I came back to yearly for a period in my life. I played that game once a year, every year, but Caesar 3 was more just kind of like that particular window. And yeah, I have kind of a strong Christmas association with that too, you know, reason. It's funny how that happens, isn't it? It's funny how that happened with Yoshi's Island. I guess because I was playing through those snowy mountainous areas while it was snowing outside, and it just like everything just kind of synced in my brain to kind of leave that big impression on me. Whereas Half-Life is not a... You can't even squint and pretend that Half-Life is a Christmassy game. I mean, there is that one alien that spooges snow-looking stuff on you, like the little crab eggs that are kind of snowy and glassy looking, but that's not... I don't even think I got there over Christmas break, so whatever. Want a game that's part visual novel and part arcade mob fighter that briefly mentions a few dozen indie games? Yeah. Thought of having a Zen theme night, just something very relaxing or nearly cute. You know, Drake, now a long time ago, we actually used to do chill nights. Ages and ages and ages ago, when I only streamed 4 nights a week. For a period, my schedule was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. And I had designated chill nights that would occasionally pop up on Tuesdays and Thursdays whenever I had the chance. And I still have a category in my Steam library for chill games, which is like low impact, buildery, explorery stuff that I thought would be perfect for doing a lot of chatting during. But you know what? I've realized something about myself, and all the time I've been streaming, I am really bad at multitasking. When I'm talking, I kind of, unless it's just like observations about what's going on in the game, I kind of have to stop playing so that I can focus on chat and on the thing that I'm saying. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons chill nights went away, is I realized they didn't actually work the way I wanted them to. I remember very, very distinctly some nights when we were playing Dragon Quest Builders 2, which was kind of pitched as a chill game, and it was delineated as chill nights and whatnot. I remember there were nights where we'd get to chatting and I would just stop playing, and we would make no progress in the game because I would just sit around and talk the whole time, which was great. You know, we had a really good time doing that, and those streams were kind of the early unexpected genesis of these streams that we do now. But I did also realize that I can't walk and chew gum at the same time, chat. I can't do it. If I'm gonna talk, I'm gonna talk. I can't push buttons while I'm talking. I have to focus. So, which of course was an impetus to do these GP Talk streams, which people seem to enjoy, shockingly enough. Yeah, Slime Rancher definitely had nights like that too. Even something as low impact as simple as Slime Rancher, I could not run around and collect slimes and farm stuff while talking about a topic in depth. So, I guess that's my great failing as a streamer, but hey, I found a solution. Planet Rancher and Slime Crafter 2. For that category, I recommend Planet Crafter and Slime Rancher 2. They aren't too demanding. Yeah, I want to play Slime Rancher 2 at some point. I'll probably wait until it comes out of early access just so I can go all the way through it once it happens. So, yeah. The game I described as Travis Strikes Again, I'd say it's not really much of a No More Heroes game, more of an inward reflection on the part of Suda, a bit of video game history. That's interesting. That's interesting. I've never played any of the No More Heroes games. I remember people getting really excited about the first one coming out. And then that was it. There have been some games like that in the past where I feel like people got super, super hyped and then they came out and they were good. But like all the hype chat that was going on, the immense amount of discourse that was happening leading up to the release kind of fell off after the release. Game was really poorly received because everyone wanted a No More Heroes game. Instead, they got kind of janky and simple game. There was nothing of what they expected. Okay, that definitely explains it. That definitely explains it. Oh, we have one more thing to do tonight. We have one more thing that I need to talk about. And that's November Community Night. This is it. Chat, we've made it to the final slide. And the night hasn't actually ended yet. Isn't that amazing? One more thing that needs to be mentioned. So this is actually kind of a big deal. The final boss of chat night. So normally what we do. So if we're gonna do like a November community night, we do a big community challenge with dragon coins. 100,000 is the target. We do it the month before. So like in October, we do the 100,000 coin challenge. We do the collection. And then once that happens, we take a volunteer to organize the community night for the next night. And we do that thing, right? Before I forget, the new Rusty Lake 2 player is out right now. That's right, it is. That is right, and I definitely want to play that. We'll have to talk about that, Lojo High. NCN doesn't have the same ring. So obviously I didn't do that. I didn't set up a collection for October. And I've been thinking, because it seems like y'all are getting more organized about communities and co-op games. No, Drake, no. So the community night games are once a month. I let chat self-organize one stream and decide what we're gonna play for that night. And usually the way it works is we get a volunteer. That volunteer comes up with a theme. People nominate games for the theme. They vote on it. They tell me what it is, and then we stream it that night. Yeah, we could absolutely do like co-op or multiplayer as a community night. In fact, we've done that before. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. It's just not exclusive to that. Yeah, we've had some fantastic co-op streams. I think the last one we did was Streets of Rogue, and that was super fun. I had a fucking blast doing that. But it's also stuff like Eurojank games, like story-rich games, all kinds of stuff. It could be any kind of theme. You think I know this by now from the tag I've got? There's a lot of stuff going on this channel and in Discord and all over the place. I think it's entirely fair that people lose track of all this bullshit I've set up over the last 4 years. Anyway, what I'm trying to get to, what I'm trying to say, is that I've noticed it seems like folks are organizing more around Doom streams, which are a huge Dragon Coin sink. We have some new Dragon Coin stuff now, like the ability to change the lights. We're back on Power Hours, so people are going to need Dragon Coins to request games there. There's a lot of uses for Dragon Coins now, so I've come to the decision, no more Dragon Coins for Community Night. Community Nights are simply going to be guaranteed going forward. Every month, there will be a Community Night. That's it. it had become kind of perfunctory up to this point. It was a thing that I did out of tradition, out of habit, and it always got paid off in like a week or week and a half or something. So yeah. There's never been any doubt that we were going to do a community night. I just did the collection because the collection is all that we've done. So, but now there's other things to do with Dragon Coins. There will certainly be more stuff to do with Dragon Coins in the future as I come up with new concepts for things. Between Doom streams, wheels, I may come up with other Friday night stream concepts that require Dragon Coins. So yeah, it was straight up a Dragon Coin sync. It was something to do when I didn't have so many ways to bleed you all of Dragon Coins. So move which corner your face cam is in. I actually like that. I actually really like that. That's a good, I'm probably gonna do that. Damn, loads are high. That was inspired. I'm not giving you the option to move me off the screen though, because that one would just be like spammed every night. Yeah, we'll do that. That's so good. I love it. Anyway, no more Dragon Coins is guaranteed, but it's already November. We need a volunteer to get November's organized and in a bit of a hurry because we're going to have to figure out when to do it. We have community nights are traditionally Fridays. I would like to keep them as Fridays because we have so many things that we full play through on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. Power hours are kind of sacrosanct at this point. I definitely don't want to give up any more power hours now that we've just gotten them back. So with that in mind, there's only 3 Fridays left in November. So we gotta get going on that. 5 seconds of giant oddish. Get out of the way. Move option to make Oddish's face the big picture and stick the game. Oh, I like that one too. That's great. Yeah, we could totally have 2. We could have one just to move my face to the requested location, and then a more expensive one to flip them. I love that. That's great. So anyway, I need a volunteer. I need somebody to organize the November community night. If it seems like Silver Mike has a theme, games with incredible music. That is a pretty wide field to pick from. If only it could be automated so you weren't aware when the swap happened. It's a shame there's no way. Like there's definitely a part of me that wishes there was a way that I could hand certain controls over to like mods to do fun stuff like that, but man, that might be suicidal. Theme idea, shmups. I mean, there's some shmups with really incredible music. There are definitely rhythm games with incredible music. I know, Silver Mike, you want to do it? You want to take this one on? Games that we're thankful for? We may end up doing something like that impromptu later in the month anyway. Because I really liked what we were talking about the other night. So maybe after whatever it is we're voting on right now, and after the Doom stream, or possibly before, yeah. But I'm handing organizational duties for this month to Silver Mike. So it's up to Silver Mike whether we go with the theme of games with incredible music, or we narrow it down further, or we go a totally different direction. But it is on Silver Mike now. I wash my hands of it. Theme autocracy night. We've been doing so much democracy lately. Why not relax, not vote, and let me dictate the whole thing? Hey, if you can get the community to agree with it, there you go. I won't stop you. It's community night. It's whatever you fuckers want me to do. All right, chat, and that, I believe, that's it. We did it. We have made it all the way through all the talking, and it only took 2.5 hours? Is that right? No. It was like 2 hours? Something like that. Somewhere in there, somewhere between 2 and 2.5 hours. A lot of talking, but I still got some energy. So, question. Since I've been polling y'all on everything anyway, 2 hours of talking about the PowerPoint, 30 minutes of talking about random stuff before. There we go. I'm gonna give y'all a choice here because I have 2 things that we can close out the stream with. One option is this. We can check out the remaining games in Season 1 of the Playdate. Or we can play this free spooky game that I found on Steam that I'm really curious about. So what's it gonna be? Playdate or weird spooky free game? What do y'all feel like? Which spooky game? It's not a spooky shmup. Mystery game that Osh is sheepish about? Spooky? It's not Cry of Fear, no. It is not like super visceral horror. It's not Cry of Fear. It is much more, as far as I know, it's much more reserved and subtle than that. Satellite Sun says crank it. Do we crank it? Do we surprise spooks? I want to do co-op Cry of Fear someday. It's so dumb. Cry of Fear is dumb. It's dumb fun, certainly. Down for more chaotic option? You get nothing stupid. All right, more chaotic option then? Okay. I can do chaos. Or don't I need to step away for a bit to make dinner anyhow? Okay, chaos it is then. I do believe chaos has carried the day. All right, okay, I can do this. Let me get this set up then. Shut up, Steam. I don't want to update. Go fuck yourself. Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Okay. Chaos control, big cat. You guys see what this is first? Okay. Alright. Music stop. Music stop. We're gonna play believe it or not, we're gonna play a video game. It's happening. I think we're gonna play a video game. Hopefully. I mean, it's indie as fuck, so I mean, hopefully OBS can handle this. Okay, so there it is. All right, neat. A couple days ago, someone in Discord posted a link to a video by Super Eyepatch Wolf, who was really entertaining. It's a really, really entertaining video essayer, especially if you're into anime or pro wrestling. Yes, there is overlap there. Link to a video about liminal horror. And it's honestly a really good breakdown of what makes, well, first of all, defining liminal spaces. And then secondly, distinguishing what makes, what inspires the horror element of liminal spaces, right? And he mentioned a game that he played on Steam called The Complex Found Footage. Now, there's a whole lot of free, like, backrooms themed walking sim kind of games on Steam. And I've always kind of thought about trying one out, but most of them look like you just wander through a bunch of ugly hallways and then some, like, Unity asset chases you down and kills you. He suggested this one, though. And he said it's more atmospheric than the other ones. So I want to give it a try. So that's what we're going to do, chat. I think this is 20, 30 minutes long. So did you ever play Superliminal? No, I didn't, actually. I would like to begin. Thank you. It's a fun puzzler. I do love puzzlers. I do love particularly brain-bending puzzlers. So that could be cool. I love Super Hot Dude. Drake Nell, I adore that game. I like super hot, and I like mind control delete. I think both of them are excellent. Hang on. Can I turn off motion blur? Please? Please? No? Okay. Cool. I guess I can't do anything. I guess a little bit of this seemed good. Liminal horror is a very fascinating thing to me. And Super Eye Patch Wolf's video on it, I think, broke down a lot of the interesting elements about it. Why it is so compelling, why it has this effect on our brains. Yeah, we definitely got the ugly ass hallways. I do really like the effort that indie developers put into making it feel like making these first person games feel really, really immersive now. With the that's cool. It is egregious motion blur, although I think it's meant to be part of the whole like low res VHS experience. Yeah, it's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's part and parcel with the experience. Oh, I like the running animation. That's pretty cool. Yeah, hopefully it's not too uncomfortable. I don't actually know if there's like a monster or anything in this game, because the video mostly focused on the like capturing the atmosphere of a liminal space. Certainly seems to do that. I need to reread House of Leaves. House of Leaves was an experience. I read that back in college. A friend of mine had it and lent it to me, and man, super good. I really like that House of Leaves is good in many ways. Not just with like the weird horror theme, but also like in the wraparound story, and even like kind of themes outside of that too. This is a really, really neat book. Did any of y'all ever read the I think it's the second book from that author? I think it's called Only Revolutions. Oh, these are like being swearing. Only Revolutions has like an even weirder structure to it, where like it's two stories, it's two overlapping stories, but one you read from the front and the other you read from the back, and they literally overlap in the text, and some of the ways they overlap like reveal aspects of the narrative. This is kind of what it's like when I do shrooms. Is it like seeing the world through an old shitty VHS camera? House of Leaves is on your Christmas list this year? Nice. I think you will enjoy it. It's really cool. A really, really cool book. The walls aren't breathing enough. Oh, hello. Oh, this is okay. This is really cool. Because one of the things about liminal spaces, and the reason they inspire such dread, is because they have this like familiar element to them. Like there's a weird sort of passing familiarity that you have with what you're seeing. And this, I used to go to a mall when I was a kid that had a similar aesthetic to this. Like ugly tiled floors, brick walls. It's missing the harsh neon, but it's definitely enough to remind me of that. Oh, it's ugly ass carpet. Stripe a mall in Iowa that you've been to. Isn't that funny? The 2 Heaven's Vault books. There's actually a Wordle type game for the Heaven's Vault language. Oh, cool. Heaven's Vault was really good. I enjoyed that a lot. Can't see my feet. Oh, what the hell? Sorry for arriving late. I was at the funniest drag show I've ever seen. How's everyone? Not as good as you. Damn. That sounds awesome. Spice, we actually we did all the chatting that I planned to do, and now we're playing a liminal horror game called Complex Found Footage. It's free on Steam if you want to check it out. This is fun. Oh my god, I can't interact with anything, but I can zoom. I have a zoom on my camera. That's great. Exactly what I wanted. I'm definitely not thrilled about this. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely feeling it now because all of the, yeah, dude. It's just everything is not right, you know? It's all so familiar and at once not. Yeah, freaky tall chair. I'm honestly nervous now that I'm gonna hear something else in here. Like, I'm just gonna hear something else moving around. It's gonna make me shit myself. Gallery. This is cool. God! The fucking monkey actually scared me. This is putting me on edge. Actually, if I zoom in a little bit, it actually focuses a bit better. That's a statue, right? God, that better just be a statue. You're really tall now? No, the ceiling's really low. Man, the sound design in this is really good because I keep hearing my own clothes shifting and I think it's somebody else. That's a statue with no head. It moved. No, it didn't. Shut up. No, it didn't. Oh, God damn it. Jesus, chat. God, this was a stupid idea. I should have just played Playdate. I'm so dumb. Okay, I hear something. The really cool thing about this is it seems like there's like a lot of different paths through here. That's really cool. What the fuck? Display D?
Your death will be avenged.
Even that kind of made me twitch. I don't know what I'm gonna do if something starts chasing me in here. Lose my mind, I guess. I think in environments like this, I think in environments like this, your brain is because there's so much because there's so much about it that looks familiar. Your brain is trying to make it make sense. It's trying to work out a purpose for it, but it's purposefully without purpose. And that's kind of hard to deal with. I really love this whole pool rooms aesthetic. The pool's depth is weird. It is, isn't it? Oh. The tension is through the roof and nothing's even happened. I know, I know. This is the power of liminal horror. This is why this works so well. Like it keys parts of your brain that a lot of horror doesn't. Like the familiarity of it, the minor off-putting elements of it. Like, just on its surface, this area looks nice, you know? It looks neat. Reminds me of the dark tunnels at water parks, but empty and weird. Yeah. It's such a confluence of things. It's a combination of it being empty, it being so unusually structured, despite being something that you almost recognize it. It almost looks like something you've seen before. But then, like, stuff is just off. Stuff is just not right. And when you're this, like, When you're this uncalibrated from reality, you have no idea what else is going to show up. Architecture is designed by an AI. But you know, the other thing about it is there's elements of it that feel like an art installation, you know? Like if you go to an art museum and there's like whole rooms that are just designed like that over there, you know? But here, within this context, you don't know why it's there. You don't know what the point of it is. I'll bring a bit of attention. I try a drag queen elbow drop another drag queen and one of their fake breast. I'm so envious of you right now. That sounds like so much fun, Spice. See, this is it. It's the sense of scale too. It's the size. It's the size of it. Like, why would this room be this big? What could possibly fill this room? Oh. Oh. The scale is off. It feels like the room is breathing somehow. This game does it does a really good job with the... Jesus Christ, I'm thinking I'm seeing shapes up there. Just the design of your viewpoint, the way it's like gently fisheyed, like a lens would be. And then the filters over it. Just an empty pool. It's empty. It's an empty pool, but it's creepy as fuck. Yeah, I love these new filters that indie developers use that make their games look really, really realistic. Yeah, like found footage. I mean, it's right there in the title. The complex found footage. Oh, good. We made it to the dining hall. The fuck? Oh, I hate that. Oh, I really hate that. Fucking long hotel hallways. My brain went full fight or flight mode with that red tint. This is awesome. This is really good. This is extremely well done, and I am more tense than I was during a lot of Spooktober itself. So I think you can actually crawl in here, but I'm not going to do that because I would lose my mind. Most backroom stuff I've seen only has one type of liminal space. This mixes up a bunch of them. Yes, yeah. And I think what I really appreciate about this is it's not... A lot of the other backroom games I've seen, it's just like the yellow hallways, and it's basically just a setup for a monster to chase you at some point. It's just a setup until a monster shows up and chases you around. This one is really focusing on the environment. It's really exploring... No. I saw that. Did... Y'all saw that too, right? Oh, god damn it. There was down. I'm gonna zoom in, and I really hope the game doesn't fuck with me for doing this. Oh, that's as far as you can zoom in. Great. at the end of the hall, at like the top of the hallway, there was like this, like, I swear to God, like a sphere or something, like poked out and then went back. It looked like a big head. Oh God, this is gross. Oh Christ, I hate everything about this. Oh no! Danger. We're in danger mode. Can you hear the klaxon already? Oh, this shit got fucked in a hurry. Okay, there's a radio down here. Or something that sounds like a radio. It was, dude, it was right here. Whatever it was right here. Christ, man. Oh, I hate this. Oh, I hate this so much. Oh, I hate everything about this. Something's gonna see me and scream and I'm gonna lose it. Why is this so tense? I keep lowering the volume. Not fair. Why did I pick this? I'm so stupid. I hear that fucking radio, but whoa. Oh God, I hear it. I got it. Oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, I don't want to do this. Is this a game? This is absolutely a game. Yes. Now I really want to get you to play the mortuary assistant. Okay. Found an elevator. Oh, I thought something was gonna appear from that crack or something. Oh God. Oh God, there's more of it. Oh God, there's more, isn't there? Unless something just rips these doors open. Something. No. No, 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 no. Oh God, okay. Oh. I I've realized that there's literally only one way this game can end. Like, you don't... Was that something? There's no escape from this. There's no way you ever escape from this, right? There's no happy ending to this. Building so much tension, you would think the developer has an orgasm denial fetish. God, man. What the hell is this? The original backwards of monster is either invisible or a spider-like thing. I've watched, well, I've watched the Kane Pixels one where it's like this weird thing made out of like cords. I'm wondering if that's gonna be the case or what. I don't know, man. I don't know. I just know I'm getting closer and closer to an inevitable end, and it's oh god, making me die inside. What business order? This is a workplace. Part of me is even afraid to like look behind me to see if there's something following me through this. This level of anxiety cannot be healthy. you to scary gulag. Oh, okay. So this is longer than I was expecting it to be. Nuts that for microseconds my brain's like, this is real life. Maybe there was a shotgun in there. Oh! Oh, thank Christ. Oh, thank you, God. Oh. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh. Oh. I cannot tell you what incredible relief it was to not get got by anything in that. Okay, now I'm super okay. I'm not gonna say anything. Yeah, no kidding. I'm not gonna say anything, and if anybody knows, I don't want you to say anything. Because I think there might be people in chat who might want to play this themselves. I am very curious if you actually can get got in this. I don't want to know if you can or not. Let's just let that mystery persist, okay? But man, like, whether you can or not, the atmosphere that this game generates is like seriously one of the scariest things I think I've ever experienced in a game. Like oh man, it just does such a good get a poll roll. It just does such a good job using those environments and the sound design. It's so good. It's so incredibly well done. I'm shocked at how good that is. Oh man, I don't want to leave this room now. Like, I don't want to go open my door to the rest of the house because I'm like, it's gonna be dark and everybody's gonna be asleep, and like, also if I hear my wife out there, I'm probably gonna jump out of my fucking clothes. This is what the Silent Hill remake should look at. I mean, I just think there need to be games like this with an actual budget. I hope somebody out there, I hope this person, honestly, I hope this person got a budget and is working on something that really, really makes use of this. Because there's always been inklings of this, I think. There's always been, like, think back to games with really striking, like, set pieces or vistas of, like, these impossible spaces, like huge wide open spaces or mega structures or whatever. I'm thinking about stuff like Antechamber, Nisance, that they use these kind of environments, but not for horror. And it's kind of amazing to me that it took this long for somebody to really make like horror environments out of that. Not sure how you could iterate on this, adding mechanics or things to do would ruin it. I feel like not this. This is perfect the way it is. This is a self-contained thing. I feel like you can take the lessons learned from this. I feel like you can take the environments and the pacing and you can make another horror game that makes use of that. Like, not one set in the backrooms. I don't think there really need to be more backrooms games. I don't think you need to expand upon the lore of it. I super double plus mega championship edition don't think you need to be explaining anything. Like, I think this is all that this concept needs to be, but I feel like the person that made this can take this and use that pacing and that sound design and the area layouts in another kind of horror game where you're doing something else. Do we know what engine this was made in? I think it's Unity. Problem is when games get a budget, you get more interest in what's done to those games. They become more risk averse. I mean, not necessarily. You can still get games with a budget that are made by just like 1 or 2 people. You know? I think this person could probably kickstart something a little bit bigger. With a bit more direction in it, maybe some additional mechanics or something. I mean, I'm speaking for this person. I have no idea what their inclinations are, what kinds of things they want to make. Maybe they're not even game design. Maybe they're a graphic designer and they just thought that this would be fun to knock together, and they don't intend on making anything else. But what I guess what I'm saying is, this is another game that's proven how much power there is in just visual design, sound design, and pacing. Like, there didn't have to be a monster in this. And I feel like so many indie horror games try so hard to accomplish this and fail. So many indie horror games have monsters in it, have chases in it, and aren't even a fraction as terrifying as this was. So I really hope there are people out there that are learning from this and just how good this is. I'm emotionally exhausted right now. Like, that stressed me out so much. How many reviews does this have? Okay, this has several thousand reviews. This has over 3,000 reviews, so that's good. It's definitely gotten some attention. I'm sure Super Eyepatch Wolf's video has gotten more eyes on it. But fuck me, man. So this is it. The complex found footage. Experience the liminal world of the backrooms through a VHS camera, immersing into a mysterious story and wandering the dreamlike structures. Might there be something following? So yeah. That took me, 40 minutes or so? I like there's no trite gather one out of 8 Bubsy comic books or whatever. Yes, yeah. You really, with environment design this good, you don't need that. You really don't need that. There's certainly ways to make that good, but I never saw this. This freshly frozen foods. I never saw whatever that was. I don't think I saw this room either. I definitely saw that one. Oh man. Jesus. Okay. Well, when I sat down for a nice, relaxing, just chatting stream tonight, I was not expecting to get my heart rate up that high, but here we are. Okay, chat, I'm done. that is literally all I got in me for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this. We've run the gamut from looking at really poorly designed charts to playing one of the scariest games I think I've ever played. Yeah, shame we can't work this into a Spooktober PowerPoint. Just spooks, yes. Higher level of spooks. Tomorrow night, more power hours. We are going to be hitting the Game Boy section of the magazine. I don't feel like we're going to be on it for too terribly long. So it's a pretty good chance that a chunk of tomorrow night is going to be spent playing Magic Sword, which is a really fun game. I am looking forward to that a lot. I will not be streaming on Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, we're doing a series of variety nights. One of those nights is going to be shmups. One of those nights is going to be FPSs. One of those nights is going to be like mystery variety stuff. So should be a good time. Also, there's a vote going on for anybody who came in late. We have decided on a vote. We're going to be continuing one of the game series that we have started on this channel. There's a lot of really good possibilities in there. This vote will last until the end of next Friday's stream. I will call it at the end of that one, and then the week after we will start into whatever it is you vote for. Okay. I have talked so much tonight. I am so tired. Let's go find somebody to raid. Oh my god. Let's see. What's going on here? What the fuck are you doing? Smite is still up somehow. Maybe? Is he still, or is he winding down? No, it looks like he's still going. Smite is doing some kind of really weird damage randomizer. Let's go hang out with him and see what exactly is happening. Oh my god. Okay. All right, chat. Well, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for humoring me as I went through a bunch of charts about Spooktober and then a whole bunch of stuff about games to play. I really, I always appreciate when y'all come out, but it's definitely something special when y'all actually show up and hang out for a Just Chatting stream. Like, it really means a lot to me that y'all are willing to sit here and listen to me ramble about all of this stuff. And then, yeah, it really paid off tonight because holy shit, we played a really cool game at the very end. So, thanks again for coming out. Hopefully, I will see y'all tomorrow night for more Power Hours. But until then, as always, y'all take care. Bye, everybody.